guys, and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. Yeah, this is not the key of the Duster because it doesn't get passive entry or push button start. So I randomly showed you whatever key was there in my pocket. Anyways, let's open the engine bay right away. And this is the engine, and it gets a hydraulic strut. A little dirty because we took it off-roading and a lot of slush and whatnot. Motor is really very loud when you open the engine bay, but insulation is good because you get insulation there. And inside you can't hear much as such. So yes, this is the heart of the matter. And as you can see, the design of the Duster remains more or less the same as before, but slight changes here and there just to make it look fresher. The grille gets this treatment. I think it's sort of a chrome treatment, which is a bit blingy. A massive Renault logo, piano black finishing, and the headlights have been updated as well. You get the LED DRL Renault written right there, but although it gets a projector setup, it's still a halogen. It's not a full LED light, which is disappointing. Fog lamp housing there for the higher trim, and of course, I mean, it looks purposeful. Renault has also made a lot of revisions to the bonnet, or rather the hood, just to make it comply with pedestrian norms. And overall, yes, it's still a very attractive and rugged looking vehicle. You get these 16-inch wheels, 215/65/16. The design of the alloy wheels could have been better. I like the ones which were there on the all-wheel drive version of the pre-facelift Duster. Okay, too many times I've said that. Anyways, you can see body cladding on the side, and it just has such massive body cladding. This new color also looks quite nice, and you get roof rails, you get a massive antenna which actually communicates to NASA and probably even to the International Space Station. Everything is the same here. There is nothing which is really different other than the fact that the lights have been tweaked a bit, the bumper has been tweaked a bit, and because this is an all-wheel drive, you get a towing hook here. You also get a towing hook at the front. The higher trims obviously get certain different treatment at the rear, but that is it. Okay, this doesn't come in the top end trim, which is disappointing because it misses out on a rear washer and wiper as well. And there's this treatment on the other versions of the Duster, the higher version, the RXZ, which we will talk about when we drive that car. Let's open the boot right away, and there you can see, okay, that is a BMW 7 Series. Anyways, as you can see, the boot is decent size. It's actually quite big a boot nonetheless, and the storage space here as well. It also gets a full-size spare wheel, although it is not an alloy, but it's a full-size spare wheel, which is actually a nice thing. And the parcel shell area is also big enough. Meanwhile, you also get a 12-volt charging socket here. So straight away, as you can see in the rear, the bottle is kept here because there are no door pockets on the rear door, which is disappointing. So let me just put the bottle right there in the center. That's the place you can keep it. Cabin is actually decently wide and also quite comfortable for 3 people, although there's also a center armrest here, and this center headrest is non-adjustable. Okay, it's a fixed headrest. Okay, we have to open this right now so that I can show that to you. Twin cup holders. This is the FCAR jacket, this is the FCAR glove. So as you can see, parcel shelf has a lot of space, and here is a 12-volt charging socket as well. Headroom is good. There are these lights placed on either side as well. Handle to hold on to. So rear seat has decent amount of space on offer and decent amount of comfort as well. But the driver's seat gives a good view of what's around. First and foremost, you get bottle holders, or rather door pockets at the front. These are the controls for the power window. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror, and these seem to be the dummy buttons, which is also there on the other side as well. Front seat is quite comfortable, but it does not get a height adjust for this variant. Yeah, it doesn't get a height adjust for this variant. That's right, no height adjust for all-wheel drive drivers because yeah, they come in standard average heights. Anyways, there is no dead pedal there as well. Now this switch is just placed in the wrong place somehow. Any which ways, the cabin feels nice and rugged, and they made a lot of changes. Firstly, you know, this might remind you of the Terrano, but gone are those round AC vents in the center. We have these rectangular ones. This is to lock the door, hazard light switch. Nice 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Yeah, it is nice. It's got touch sensitivity. In fact, it will also give you an eco score. As you can see, it doesn't get a climate control AC, which is there in the top spectrum. This is the all-wheel drive switch, and there's a 12-volt charging socket. This is the ESP button. It also gets hill hold. This is the button to get into eco mode. Twin cup holders right there, and you know, there is not much space to keep stuff here, but there is a glove box which is kind of deep, and there's another glove box on the top, and both of them seem to be cooled. I mean, cool in the sense, hawa ka nahi. Does it look like a cool box? No, cool matlab swaggy. Anyways, Duster is written right here just in case your co-passenger forgets which car that person is sitting in, and you get this piano black finish, a lot of piano black finish. Meanwhile, the higher trim actually get body color finishing here, which also looks quite nice. New steering wheel, audio controls are placed right here, and this is the control for the wipers, so good amount of spray here as well. These are the controls for the headlights, and it doesn't get an auto dimming inside rear view mirror. There is no mirror here, and there's a mirror here, no light, and there's a light in the center. So obviously the Duster started to show its age right now, although is it still worth the price? Well, slight color changes here and there just to keep it fresh seems to have done the trick probably at this price point. As you can see, even the instrument cluster has been revised, so you know, you get this new color right there, and you can press this button to browse through that multi-information display which is in the third pod. So there you get a lot of information like trip, what is the average speed, what is the fuel economy, what is the time, and yeah, distance to empty, and yeah, outside temperature as well. So let's get into reverse, only to realize there is no reverse parking camera. However, there are reverse parking sensors. Let's play an audio right away. Audio quality is decent, although I would have really appreciated buttons to be here, not here hidden. In fact, I'm not even kidding. After having driven this car for almost 5 days, today I realized there are actually audio controls hidden here. I never actually realized them. Anyways, it could have done with a lot more features, like a sunroof would have been a nice touch, auto dimming inside rear view mirror would have been a nice touch, and honestly they could have priced it higher than the existing variant and given us all that and more, because people who swear by the Duster do not mind paying that extra to get more features. So the Duster is just not able to compete with, say, the Creta or the Seltos or the Hector or any of those cars for that matter, just because it misses out on a ton of features. But is it enough to make this car sell with the value for money price tag? What do you say? She's confused. Let's get driving. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning on the car, putting the handbrake down, turning the air conditioning off, that is off as well, turning off traction control, getting out of eco mode, into first gear, revving the motor, revs till 3200 rpm, and off we go. The motor does rev till 5000 rpm, and the car is actually very short gear, revs quite fast as well. But overall, I would say there is nothing to talk about the engine because it is the same as before. This is a 1.5 litre diesel engine. This is the highest state of tune, 110 horsepower and 245 Newton meters of torque. As expected, turbo lag is very well contained because that 245 Newton meters of torque comes in at a low 1750 RPM. So performance is very nice indeed because drivability is great. Performance is quite good, I would say. But the motor, although silent at lower speeds, gets quite vocal at higher speeds, which is an issue, because of which, you know, the motor can be heard a lot as you get past the mid-range. Performance for the most part is more than adequate, I would say, but the gearbox could have been more slicker shifting, although the clutch is on the lighter side. Now, the good thing about the Duster is the fact that this is a fuel efficient car. This one will return a fuel economy between 13 to 15 kilometers per liter, and that will stretch out more on the highway because, yes, like I told you earlier, it's a frugal car thanks to the small 1.5 litre diesel engine. Now Renault also offers a lower state of tune for this diesel engine with the 85 PS output, and there's also a 1.5 litre petrol on offer. You know, Renault is being over smart here, Renault engineers. What they have done is traction control will automatically turn on at 60 kilometers per hour, which doesn't make sense at all. Why give a traction control button if you want to turn it on your own at 60 kilometers per hour? That is absolutely baffling and makes no sense whatsoever. Even this speed alarm which beeps at 80 kilometers per hour, that is the worst I have seen in my life. It keeps beeping, it doesn't stop only, it keeps going on and on and on and on. And then I actually think, is it the 120 kilometer per hour reminder? No, it is 80 kilometer per hour reminder. So very badly done on those two fronts. Anyways, what has been done phenomenally well, or rather which hasn't been touched at all, is the ride and handling balance of this vehicle. The ride quality is just brilliant. It absorbs almost everything in its stride. That's so good about this vehicle, and this 6-speed gearbox gives it long legs out on the highway. But most importantly, the ride and handling balance is just phenomenal. Especially the all-wheel drive version, which I'm driving right now, also gets independent suspension at the rear. Thus, the ride quality of the all-wheel drive is even better. The steering also offers good amount of feel and feedback. But you know, if you hit a bump or a pothole and this is while you're cornering, there is just over feedback somehow from the steering wheel, and it gives you this kickback which is kind of uncomfortable, although the steering is decently weighed up, especially at high speeds. Also it weighs up quite well. High speed stability is excellent as well. Braking performance is also very good on the Duster, and the best thing here is the fact that this is also a car which can go off-road without any fuss. Although this is a compact SUV, unlike other compact SUVs in the market, this one actually is capable of the road. So we actually took it off-road. That's the reason why, you know, the steering alignment has gone completely. It is not centered right now, but when we took it off-road, we had a lot of fun because the Duster, in spite of being a compact SUV, isn't pseudo at all. Firstly, this electronically controlled all-wheel drive system works really very well. There are 3 settings on offer. You can drive in two-wheel drive mode, which channel power to the front wheel. You can drive in auto mode, which will channel power to the rear wheels whenever it detects a slip, and then you can put it in all-wheel drive mode as well. The full-time all-wheel drive mode will disengage as soon as you cross 60 kilometers per hour, but the ground clearance is decent at 205 mm, and because of the light weight of this vehicle, when you take it off-road, it actually performs quite well. So Renault also offers a petrol version, 1.5 liter, produces around 106 horsepower, and yeah, it also made it to a CVT gearbox, and that is going to be the mainstay of the Duster in the future, because they are yet not sure if this engine is going to comply with BS6 emission norms, which means that the diesel Duster might not be continued from April 2020, which might be a big bummer indeed. And Neha was actually looking in shock that how can they discontinue the diesel on a Duster. Well, they can if the sales, or rather the cost, doesn't make sense. Any which ways, Hyundai is still going to continue selling diesels. So it's Ford and Mahindra and Tata as well, and Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Okay, this list can go on and on and on and on and on. That said, in-gear acceleration is also very nice, and the Duster pulls nice and cleanly, and it actually feels like a petrol for the most part, the way the motor is able to pull smoothly. However, it just redlines too quickly. Grip levels are very impressive. Tires offer good amount of grip, and it's really the ride quality which is so impressive on the Duster. Really, ride and handling balance is just super duper awesome on the Duster. Now the Duster is available in 9 variants. That's right, 9 variants. The range actually starts at rupees 9.35 lakhs on road Mumbai for the base petrol, and the base diesel actually starts at 11,11,000. You know, the top of the line happens to be the AMT or the all-wheel drive. Yeah, both of them are priced the same, which is 15,10,000. Which means that for the price of the Renault Duster all-wheel drive in the RXS trim, you get the Renault Duster AMT in the RXZ trim. Yes, the all-wheel drive Duster isn't available in the top of the line trim. Yeah, you tend to run into the red line very quickly. Anyways, as you can see, the Duster should have got a more comprehensive update. Without a doubt, it could have got a more comprehensive update, and especially Renault has not got the 2nd generation model in India, which is a big bummer. However, for the price, the Duster kind of justifies itself, because other than the price, obviously there are going to be a lot of discounts on offer as well. In terms of ride and handling balance, in terms of off-road ability, in terms of toughness and overall build, the Duster is hard to fault. Yes, certain things do feel a bit too low rent for this price point, but then it is the robustness of this car which actually stands out on the Duster. But if you're looking for something which is easy on the pocket, reliable, and most importantly capable of the road, then the Duster AWD is hard to fault. You can get a body-on-frame SUV for this price, but it's not easy to drive and park and not fuel efficient either. But the Duster is all of that and more, and also there's an eco mode on offer. Yes, and I'm saying this again, Renault should have offered the 2nd generation Duster in India, considering the fan following of this vehicle. But as I see it currently, this is a bargain purchase for those looking for something robust and of course offering you good comfort as well. So guys, this is my vlog of the Renault Duster AWD. If you liked it, you know what you have to do. Give it a thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.